Do you ever wonder why some women seem to have this effortless ability to get exactly what they want? Whether it's landing that dream job, commanding attention in a room full of people, or even just making day-to-day life seem like a breeze. It feels like they've got some magic formula, right? Well, here's the good news. It's not magic, it's psychology, and it's something you can learn too. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the psychology behind why some women seem to get everything they want, and how you can start applying these strategies in your own life. By the end of this video, you'll have practical, science-backed tools you can use to start owning your power and getting what you want. Whether it's in your career, relationships, or even just how you feel about yourself, there are real, actionable steps you can take. So stick around because we're talking first impressions, color psychology, body language tricks, and even how the way you smell can influence how people perceive you. If you're ready to level up and start tapping into your full potential, keep watching. I promise by the end of this video, you'll be armed with the knowledge to make those subtle shifts that lead to big results. Let's start with something we've all heard a million times. First impressions matter. It may sound cliche, but it's backed by psychology. Research shows that people form an opinion about you within the first 7 seconds of meeting you. 7 seconds. That's barely enough time to say your name, let alone show off your sparkling personality or incredible intelligence, right? But here's the thing. Your brain is wired to make quick judgments. This goes way back to our survival instincts, where we had to know immediately if someone was a friend or foe. So, how does this play out in today's world? Well, those first 7 seconds are a crucial window where people are assessing things like your body language, your energy, and even your style. They're asking themselves, is this someone I want to be around? Can I trust them? Do they seem confident? Here's where it gets interesting. That snap judgment often sticks. Once someone forms an impression of you, it's hard to change it. The brain likes consistency. So if you come off as confident, approachable, and put together in those first few moments, people are more likely to keep seeing you that way, even as they get to know you better. But don't worry, this doesn't mean you need to be perfect. It just means you need to be intentional. Before you walk into a room, think about how you want to be perceived. Are your shoulders back? Is your head held high? Are you making eye contact? These are all subtle cues that tell people, I'm someone worth paying attention to. A quick tip. Practice a power stance before you walk into any important situation. Stand tall, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that you deserve to be there. Because when you believe it, others will too. And this is just the beginning. You'll see how all of this builds as we keep going. Next up, let's talk about something called the halo effect. This is one of the most fascinating psychological phenomena when it comes to beauty and perception. The halo effect is when people assume that if you're good in one area, like being physically attractive, they assume you're good in other areas too, like being more intelligent, competent, or even kinder. It's like this invisible glow that surrounds you and impacts how people see everything about you. Now, before you think this sounds superficial, let's break it down. It's not just about being conventionally beautiful. It's about how you carry yourself, how you present yourself to the world, and how polished your appearance is. It's your skincare routine, your personal style, your grooming habits, all of these little things that collectively create your outward presentation. The key here is not to look like a supermodel or to meet some unrealistic beauty standard. And no, it's about looking like the best version of you. When you're well put together, it signals something deeper. People tend to assume, oh, she must have her life together, or she knows what she's doing. It's not fair, but it's the way our brains work. We categorize and make assumptions based on what we see. This is something we can use to our advantage, because when you put care into your appearance, it affects how others perceive your competence and capability. And guess what? It doesn't just change how they see you, it also changes how you see yourself. When you take the time to dress in a way that makes you feel confident and powerful, it impacts your mood, your energy, and how you carry yourself throughout the day. You walk a little taller, you speak with more authority. And that, my friends, is where the magic happens. So here's a little challenge. The next time you're getting ready for an important moment, whether it's a big meeting, a first date, or even just a day where you need to feel on, take the extra time to put yourself together in a way that makes you feel amazing. It could be as simple as wearing that outfit that makes you feel like $1,000,000, or doing your hair in a way that boosts your confidence. The halo effect will do the rest. Okay, this next chapter is one of my personal favorites, the psychology of color. Did you know that the colors you wear can actually influence how people feel about you and even how they behave around you? Yeah, it's true. Colors have a powerful psychological effect, and when used strategically, they can help you project the right energy in any situation. Let's break it down. Red, for example, is a color of passion, power, and confidence. It's bold, it's attention-grabbing, and it makes a statement without you having to say a word. Studies have shown that people who wear red are often perceived as more assertive and dominant. So, if you're heading to a negotiation or a high-stakes meeting, throwing on a red dress, blazer, or even a bold red lip might just give you that extra edge. Now, if you're looking to project calmness, trustworthiness, or approachability, blue is your go-to color. There's a reason so many corporate logos are blue. It's associated with stability and calm. Wearing blue can make you seem more reliable and trustworthy, which is perfect for building rapport or easing tension in a conversation. And let's not forget about black. Black is classic, timeless, and powerful. It's often associated with sophistication and authority, which is why so many people wear it in professional settings. It's sleek, it's slimming, and it never goes out of style. But here's a little tip. Balance it out with a pop of color or an accessory that adds warmth, so you don't come off as too closed off or intimidating. Then there are softer colors like pastels, which radiate a quieter confidence. Colors like blush pink, lavender, and baby blue tend to evoke feelings of warmth, kindness, and approachability. These are great for casual, social settings where you want to be seen as friendly and open. And it's not just about what others think. Colors affect you too. Ever notice how wearing a bright color can instantly lift your mood? That's because colors have a psychological impact on your brain chemistry. So the next time you're picking out your outfit, think about what kind of energy you want to project and how you want to feel. The right color can shift your entire mindset. All right, ladies, let's move on to something that's incredibly simple but so often overlooked: posture. Your posture can literally make or break how people perceive you and, more importantly, how you feel about yourself. Think about it. When you see someone slouched over with their arms crossed, looking down at the ground, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Probably something like, they seem nervous, or they don't look very confident. Now, compare that to someone who walks into a room standing tall, shoulders back, head held high. They instantly seem more confident, more in control, and more capable. This isn't just a superficial thing. It's rooted in psychology. There's a concept called embodied cognition, which says that your body posture actually affects your emotions and your thoughts. When you stand tall and adopt a more open posture, you're not just looking confident, you're actually feeling more confident. Your brain releases more testosterone, the power hormone, and lowers your cortisol levels, the stress hormone. This means that the way you hold yourself directly impacts the way you feel. Isn't that amazing? So, here's a quick little exercise you can try right now. If you're sitting or slouching, straighten up. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chin slightly and take a deep breath. Doesn't that feel better already? When you open up your body, you're signaling to both yourself and those around you that you're in control and that you're confident. This is especially important in high-pressure situations, whether it's a job interview, an important meeting, or even a social event where you want to make a great impression. Before you walk into the room, take a moment to check in with your body. Are you slumping, crossed arms, tense? If yes, adjust your posture. Stand tall, open your chest, and feel the difference. Here's another little hack. If you're feeling nervous before a big moment, find a private spot and do what's called a power pose. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart, place your hands on your hips, yes, think Wonder Woman, and hold that position for 2 minutes. Research shows that adopting a power pose before entering a challenging situation can increase your feelings of confidence and decrease stress. It may sound silly, but it works. Your body tells your brain, I got this, and your brain believes it. So ladies, never underestimate the power of posture. It's one of the easiest ways to project confidence and feel it from the inside out. Now, let's talk about influence. And no, I'm not talking about manipulation or trying to control others. Let's be clear about that. I'm talking about the art of subtle influence, which is all about understanding people on a deeper level. Women who seem to get everything they want aren't forceful or aggressive. They've mastered the art of reading the room, understanding social dynamics, and using emotional intelligence to influence outcomes without anyone even realizing it. Here's the thing. Influence isn't about talking the loudest or forcing your opinion onto others. In fact, the most influential women are often the ones who listen more than they speak. They take the time to understand the people around them, what motivates them, what they care about, and what they need. By doing so, they're able to position themselves as allies, as people who can help solve problems or provide value. One of the best ways to subtly influence someone is through active listening. When you're engaged in a conversation, really listen to what the other person is saying. Not just their words, but their body language, their tone, and their emotions. Then, respond in a way that shows you're really paying attention. This builds trust, and people are more likely to be influenced by someone they trust. Another key to subtle influence is asking good questions. Instead of telling someone what to do, ask questions that lead them to come to their own conclusions. For example, if you're in a work meeting and you have an idea you want others to get on board with, instead of saying, "This is the best solution," you might ask, "What do you think would happen if we tried this?" By framing it as a question, you're inviting the other person to think it through and come to the same conclusion themselves, making them feel like it's their idea. This is powerful because people are naturally more inclined to support something they feel ownership over. And here's another tip. Be mindful of your tone of voice and choice of words. Women who get what they want know how to use a calm, measured tone to convey authority without coming across as aggressive. They also use positive language, focusing on what can be done instead of what can't. For example, instead of saying, "That won't work," you could say, "What if we looked at it this way?" It's a subtle shift, but it keeps the conversation open and solution-oriented, which is much more likely to lead to a positive outcome. Finally, remember that influence isn't about winning every argument or getting your way all the time. It's about building relationships, creating trust, and guiding situations in a way that benefits everyone involved. Women who excel at subtle influence know that sometimes the best way to lead is by letting others feel like they're in control. All right, now, this next one might surprise you. Your scent can actually play a huge role in how people perceive you and how successful you appear. Yep, we're diving into the psychology of scent. Fragrance is incredibly powerful because it taps directly into the part of our brain that processes emotion and memory. Have you ever smelled a certain perfume and instantly been transported back to a specific moment or person? That's because scent is deeply tied to our emotions. And when used strategically, it can help you leave a lasting impression. The key here is to find a signature scent that makes you feel both confident and comfortable. When you feel good about the way you smell, it boosts your self-esteem, and that confidence radiates outward. But it's not just about you. Certain scents can actually influence how others perceive you, too. For example, studies have shown that vanilla and lavender are associated with feelings of warmth, trust, and approachability, while notes of citrus can make you seem more energetic and vibrant. And then there are deeper, more musky scents that project power and sensuality. So, it's all about finding the right balance for whatever situation you're walking into. Here's a little trick you can try. Wear a specific scent whenever you're about to do something important, an interview, a big meeting, a first date, you name it. Over time, your brain will start associating that scent with confidence and success, and it'll give you that extra boost whenever you smell it. It's like a little secret weapon that you can carry with you no matter where you go. So, ladies, don't underestimate the power of a good fragrance. It's not just about smelling nice, it's about creating an invisible aura of confidence and influence that people can't help but notice. Now let's get a little more scientific with something called mirror neurons. These are special brain cells that fire both when we perform an action and when we see someone else perform that same action. Basically, they help us mirror other people's feelings and actions, even when we don't realize it. This is why when you're around someone who's really positive and upbeat, you start to feel more energized and happy. And on the flip side, if you're around someone who's stressed or negative, it can bring your mood down too. So, how does this help you get what you want? Well, understanding mirror neurons means you can use your own energy to influence the people around you. If you project positivity, confidence, and calm, the people you're interacting with will subconsciously begin to mirror those same feelings. It's like creating a ripple effect of good vibes, and it can be incredibly powerful in social situations. For example, if you're in a tense meeting and you remain calm and composed, over time, others in the room will start to pick up on that and follow your lead. Or if you're speaking to someone and you genuinely believe in what you're saying, they're much more likely to mirror that belief and agree with you. So, the next time you're in a situation where you need to influence or persuade someone, remember this: your energy is contagious. Use it wisely. All right, let's talk about something called selective attention. This is a psychological principle that basically says people focus their attention on whatever is most important to them at the moment, and everything else gets filtered out. It's why you can be in a crowded room and still hear your name being mentioned from across the room. It stands out to you because it's personally relevant. So how does this help you get what you want? Well, if you can align what you want with what's important to the person you're talking to, you suddenly become the most interesting person in the room. It's all about understanding their needs, their desires, and their goals, and then positioning yourself in a way that shows them how you can help them achieve those things. For example, if you're going for a promotion, don't just talk about how great you are. Frame it in terms of how your skills can help the company achieve its goals. Or if you're trying to negotiate something in a relationship, think about what the other person values most and show how your request aligns with that. When you can tap into what's already important to someone else, they're much more likely to pay attention to you and agree with what you're asking for. It's not about manipulation. It's about creating a win-win situation where both parties feel like they're getting something valuable. Now, this next one might surprise you because it's the opposite of what we usually think about when it comes to power and influence. It's the power of vulnerability. Now, I'm not talking about oversharing or being emotional in a way that makes you seem weak. I'm talking about strategic vulnerability, knowing when to let your guard down just enough to create a genuine connection. Here's the thing, people are drawn to authenticity. When you're willing to be a little vulnerable, it shows that you're human, that you're real. It builds trust. And trust is one of the most powerful tools when it comes to getting what you want. For example, if you're in a negotiation and you acknowledge a limitation or share a personal story, it can make the other person feel more comfortable and open to working with you. Or in a social setting, being willing to admit that you don't have all the answers, but are excited to learn can actually make you come across as more relatable and approachable. Vulnerability, when used correctly, isn't a weakness, it's a strength. It can disarm people and make them feel more connected to you. So don't be afraid to show a little humanity. It might just be the thing that wins people over and helps you get what you want. Finally, let's talk about the magnetic self-concept. This is all about how you see yourself and the energy you project based on that self-image. Here's the thing. People are naturally drawn to confidence, not arrogance, but genuine, quiet confidence that radiates from within. And that confidence comes from having a strong, positive self-concept, knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you bring to the table. When you have a clear sense of your own worth, it changes everything. You stop seeking validation from others and start attracting opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with your value. It's like you become a magnet for the things you want because you're operating from a place of abundance, not lack. Here's a quick exercise that can help. Grab a pen and jot down 3 things that make you stand out. Things that make you you. It could be your creativity, your ability to bounce back from tough situations, or maybe the way you connect with people, whatever comes to mind. Write it down. Then, keep that list somewhere you'll see it every day. The goal is to remind yourself of your unique value regularly. When you really start believing in your own worth, others will naturally pick up on it too. And remember, the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. When you nurture that relationship and build a strong self-concept, everything else, confidence, success, and even influence, follows naturally. So, there you have it, ladies. The psychology behind why some women seem to get everything they want. It's not magic, it's about understanding and leveraging the subtle but powerful cues that influence how people perceive you. From first impressions and body language to the psychology of scent and color, these are all tools you can use to elevate your life and start getting what you want. Remember, it's not about manipulating others. It's about understanding human behavior and using that knowledge to build stronger connections, exude confidence, and position yourself for success. You have the power to create the life you want. And it's all within reach once you start applying these principles. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more content like this. And if you want to dive deeper into topics like confidence, influence, and personal power, check out some of my other videos. The journey to getting everything you want starts with understanding yourself and how you can project your best self to the world. Thanks for watching, ladies. Until next time, go out there and own it.